Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming to play with my mind today. My name is Gretchen Vogel. I've been a practicing medium, mystic, psychic, author. I think I'm forgetting something for 4.5 decades. Everything on my videos and my books and my teaching is from downloads that I was doing from the mid 80s. I didn't even have the word channeling for it back then. I would just ask questions and I would get this information while I was in trance. What was exciting to me was getting a question, because I knew that if I had a question, I could get the answer. Well, Lewis the horse that I mentioned in the very first video on karma was the being that gave me the question of karma as patterns in energy. And I'm going to share with you how he did it, because there's something else that I want to mention at the very end of this. But I'm going to read to you a little bit of what he said to me. Now, Lewis is in the world of spirit. He was in the world of spirit when I did this meditation with him. So I asked Lewis if there was any other aspects of our coming together that you understand at this point. And he said he does understand our mutual kindness for each other, that we must remember the kindness that we express to each other, which would be good karma. Now, he said to us, and you have to understand, my husband and I have been in horses all of our lives. And Lewis was our last horse. So we are now horseless. Lewis then projected an ideal scene or expression, a 2.0 version, where we were healthy and young all together. Now, Lewis had a injury in one of his back legs. We got him from a kill auction. In other words, after those auctions, they are shipped to Canada or France for meat. So we rescued him from that anyway. He continued, Peter and I both carried a lot of wounding where horses were concerned. And by the time Lewis came here, that wounding was a pattern that was not resolved. We both had guilts and regrets around horses, and so it always seemed as if things went wrong. But one came first, the wounding or the wounds. And all the horses subsequently broke our hearts and developed problems over and over again. You just could not escape this patterning, which was a part of you. You both had such a distorted pattern around you, there was no way you could create 2.0. You carried such patterns of grief and loss. The horses were never going to be successful, even in the sense that you wanted them to be. These patterns in energy were going to distort whatever we tried to do with horses. And so as you work to heal and grieve these patterns, it will lay a different foundation. And it is worth trying to heal and grieve these patterns. If you carry forward these patterns into the different realities, and it's kind of cool for a horse to say, because I was thinking future life or one of the formless realms that seems just as real as this one does. And the idea that we could be with horses again. Anyway, he continues, and you want to create together the ideal of, say, being able just to take your horses over to the state park and ride them. Whether these realities seem more or less solid, then certainly there is a potential for that going forward with you both. I guess he means after our lifetime, this time. It is worth trying to heal the guilt, the history, the regret, and the loss. Not having horses does not mean the end of your thoughts and emotions about horses or the end of your challenge to heal. all the trauma that you experienced that perpetuated itself with horses. And so Lewis was the one who tipped me off to karma being patterns in energy, that this is what karma is, and we're carrying this. Now, what was really devastating to hear from Lewis was that something that my husband and I were carrying, they could not co-create over. They could not overcome our sorrow, our distortions. Furthermore, we did not know that we were having any influence on the community we had with our horses. We just wanted relationship with them at this point in our lives. You know, we were well past anything to do with performance, obviously. But these patterns were in our subconscious. Okay, so that opens up a whole other arena of questions. And we're going to look at those questions because I do have the information on how to work at the dissolution of these energy patterns. And there's lots of different ways to do it. So I'm still getting downloads on that process, those processes. But how do we see our karma if it's in the subconscious? Well, I had to think about that. And this comes from my brain. This is not channeled material. And I'll kind of always tell you when that happens. So as I was looking at patterns in energy that might need to be dissolved, then again, we don't need to dissolve the good karma that can live within us. And, you know, we can be happy and grateful and see the synchronicity and see the beauty and awe and do our prayers and our practice. You know, so I'm not even sure I'm going to do one on good karma, but to see these patterns that might be within us. What I did with the prompting of Louise Hay, who is one of my helpers now, she's very forthright. You know, she doesn't kind of soften anything. Anyway, Louise has a lot to say on karma, but what she recommended was that I look at times or events, actions, actually, in my life that I'm not proud of. Actions, okay, not the thoughts or emotions that preceded it, not the conditions that I could blame for this. Oh my God, I feel like Mike Pence, I have a ladybug landing on me. Anyway, some of you will get that. She said, look at the actions that you're not proud of in your life, of what you might consider mistakes. And that's going to give you a good idea of what needs to be reviewed, addressed, and dissolved. So I think this is a good place to stop today. And again, thank you so much for being here. My website is howspiritworks.com. And I hope to have another one up soon. Okay, thank you so much.